After 35 years of working in the NHS, nothing prepared me for the shock I felt when I was told I had a year to wait to see a consultant cardiologist. I had the start of a dissecting aneurysm. So there was a bleed from the main artery from the heart. I would have died certainly if it had ruptured straight away. And I was told it was a 12-month wait to see a cardiologist urgently on the NHS. I think it was just sort of, God, a year, bloody hell. When I was in general practice, it would have been an urgent referral. They'd have been seen within 2 or 3 weeks. So I thought, well, I'll try and lose weight and I'll keep taking the tablets. I'll try and improve my exercise tolerance, but it just wasn't working. I was feeling exhausted. I was used to being active. I was used to cycling and walking, and suddenly I was having to be looked after myself. No, it was very demoralising. It was very upsetting. And then just feeling after 5 months, I just couldn't go on. I did have to wrestle with my conscience about whether I should see somebody privately. I had worked for the NHS for 35 years, always believed in it, always felt that it was the right thing, that it should be available to all, free at point of delivery. It really hurt me. It was a very difficult decision to make. Once I'd made the decision to see somebody privately, I was seen, I think, the next week, 10 days later. And I'm now on treatment that definitely has helped. I don't feel I'm inhibited anymore. Thank God I did have money to do that. There must be tens of thousands of people in a similar situation to me, waiting and feeling in the end that they have to, if they can, scrape up the money to see somebody privately to get that care that they need. And they shouldn't have to. Everyone who works in the health service wants to do a good job. There's more and more demand, and there are more people on each list that can't provide the service they want. And it's demoralising and ineffective and actually scarily, not safe. I think the NHS is in a state of collapse. It is critical that the incoming government puts the resources in to support it, to revive it, to give it life-saving treatment, because it needs it. We all need it. We all depend on the NHS. It's the most precious thing. Our health is the most precious thing.
Welcome to NHS. Your number is 90 in a queue.
90 in a queue? Come on. Oh.
NHS. Your health is our priority. Thanks for your patience. Our doctor will be available soon. Thanks for your patience. NHS, your health is our priority. I'm so sorry, our staff is full busy at this minute. Please call back later. Until then, take paracetamol. Bye-bye, take care.
I'm going to use my TikTok to show how bad this is. My mum has been here for 5 hours and I can't even find anyone to give her a blanket. Her drip had bubbles and blood come for it. I am telling you, this is absolutely disgusting. I am a healthcare provider, but not for many years. And right now, you can't do your job because the government is so crap. So we, as the family members, have to do it for the NHS because they're so busy. Now, if you ask me, that's really corrupt. In 2022. Mum, lift your head for me, darling. No pillow, I can't find my mum a pillow.
That's lovely.
Couldn't find my mum any blankets. So that's what I found. And I went to find them myself. No joke, bro. Down there. If I wasn't with my mum tonight, she would have been stuck here, and that is no exaggeration. On her own, no cover, no blankets, nothing. I'm the only one who's got her water. She wouldn't even have any water. The NHS, seriously, is so bad. I feel so sorry for the workers here. They get abused. I've seen it since I've been here. It's just horrendous. It's just horrendous. Are you okay, Mum? Because surely it don't make you feel very good.
I'm just tired, exhausted.
But you're going to go to sleep now, Mum. I'm going to get you to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to the kids.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll come and get you, yeah?
And then I'll sleep all night, and then you come.
Are you comfortable?
No, under the back. I can't. I've got to need something under my back. It's bad.
See my point? Let me go and get another blanket. Come with me, TikTok. No joke. Absolutely packed. This thing just keeps really messing with me, playing with me. I'll tell you what, mate, I'm not even a nurse, I'm having to deal with this.
so upset for my daughter.
Mum, you don't need to be upset for me. I'm fine. It's the rest you need to worry about. Like, they haven't got enough people to work for them. That's running out. That's going. That's nearly gone.
Good.
So what happens when it finishes? What does happen, NHS, when the drip finishes? Or do I have to run out the door looking for you for about 10 hours?
Rishi Sunak has refused to say the health service is in crisis and says he is confident the NHS has sufficient funding. The latest figures from the Emergency Medical Journal tell a different story, with 300 to 500 people dying every week in the UK because of delays to emergency care. 1 in 3 patients seen by ambulance are waiting over half an hour to be handed over to A&E, sometimes critically unwell patients. Some of those waits have extended to hours. Picture isn't much better once you get into hospital, with 40% of people that need a hospital bed having to wait longer than 4 hours for one, sometimes up to 2 days. This is how a junior doctor described it. The system is completely overwhelmed, there's no quick fix, it needs a significant amount of funding, but it's also about restoring the goodwill of staff who have given so much that they don't have any left. So with nurses across the country staging strikes, junior doctors voting to strike, paramedics going on strike, people waiting over 4 hours just to be seen, let alone get a bed when they need one, Rishi Sunak's response was to say the NHS is not in crisis and it has enough money.
NHS waiting times are an absolute joke. So I've been on the waiting list with the NHS for something for about 8 months now. And it's gotten to the point where they are basically even telling me that NHS is a joke. These are actual NHS employees telling me that the NHS is overwhelmed and it's just not what it used to be. And I think it's great that we have the NHS. I think it's great, we pay for it, but I do think it's great. It's better than countries like America, where if you don't have private healthcare, you're screwed. But I think there comes a time where you've got to look at the marginal benefit that you're getting. So I eventually got fed up with the NHS and I've decided to go down the private route. So I went to a private doctor and I explained what I'm going through. The initial consultation was £300, and that was just to be seen. Anyway, after going through the consultation, that doctor mentioned that there was a slot that I could be seen that very day, like the same day. And it just made me think how many issues and problems that people have in life that can just be solved by just having money. Like, I'm not a huge fan of having money to be flashy and show off on other people. But I think if you can amass some money and use it for good, like when you have health issues, you can get them sorted out quickly, you can help your family members, is such a flex.
Quickly talk about the GP system in this UK. Yeah. So, I have to call at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm behind 500,000 people. I finally get to the front. The woman says to me on the phone, "Oh, we need to book you for a telephone appointment." Babe, I need my blood test done. What are you talking about? What do you mean I need Anyways, get a telephone call. You're going to be called between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. at night. Okay, fine, whatever. Get a call. Oh, you need to come down. Cool. You go down there. Very rude little lady at the desk. No morning, no hello, no nothing. What time's your appointment? Looking at me as if I'm boo-boo the foot. Who are you talking to? And who are you looking at like that? Very rude. I'm very polite and respectful. I expect the same. It's a normal... Anyways, then sitting down in the waiting area. Bro, why am I waiting 20, 30 minutes with no apology? No nothing. And the thing is, it might not be your fault. But you could just say sorry. Sorry for the delay. Because that's what Anyways. But if I'm late, if I cancel, party's done, don't ever come here again. You're now off the booking system. Don't ever come here again. And it's the same thing for these beauty therapists. Why is it you got to put down a deposit, but if I'm late or if I cancel, deposit done, don't ever come here again. Blocked on social... But if you're late or you cancel, then it is what it is. No, bro, no. I'm going to start charging it to the game. I'm putting it back on people from now on. You are taking 20% off of my... Yo, we got to start charging it to...
Right, okay, you lost your leg and you're bleeding. Fair. 1 sec. Hold on. Right, okay, can I just confirm your name, please? I know you lost your leg, but I need your name, alright? Jessica. How'd you spell that? Are you conscious and breathing? What's your postcode, please? No, you lost your leg, alright? But I need your details, okay? Yeah. Listen, Lou, do you have any paracetamol or ibuprofen that you can take right now so we can carry on the fun conversation and I can book you for an appointment? You don't. Can you pop into Lidl or Sainsbury if you have money and get yourself ibuprofen or paracetamol, then call me again? And remember, Excuse me. Remember, we close at 4. Alright, thank you, bye. I just paid £400 for an MRI. Yes, you heard me. £400 for an MRI scan. Like, we know the NHS is getting bad, but guys, the NHS is really getting bad. Side note, if you're the loonies from the other videos that think that anyone can put on a wig and a dress and think that they're a woman and try to say biology doesn't exist and think that anyone should have access to changing rooms where women are and where young kids are, scroll off this video. You don't possess the intellect to understand what I'm gonna say. So guys, I needed a scan. And I thought, got a doctor's appointment finally. Yep, we all know waiting times are bad. Imagine they gave me an appointment for December 2025, not for the scan, just to see a consultant. That's right, that's more than 9 months waiting just to see the consultant. Mate, we need to do something about this NHS. I heard Starmer's getting involved with NHS more. We need to really realise what's going on here, and also we need to save money if you can. A little £5 here, a little £10 there, a little £15 if you can, and put it towards a health box, like a health pot. If you have Monzo styling, the digital banks, put a health pot, start putting money back, because it's only by the grace of God I could afford to pay for that £400 MRI. If I didn't, I would have to be waiting until December just to see a consultant, and who knows what could be going on with my health. Health is wealth, as you know. Mwah, have a good week.
So, I had to call the doctors this morning, and I feel like this is just a joke, but it's not. This is just reality in the UK. I was 29th in the queue at 8 a.m. They open at 8 a.m. and I called at 8 a.m. Bang on. Literally, the time went down and I called. So, God knows how I was 29th in the queue. Anyway, it was ridiculous. 8 a.m. I'm feeding the kids. I'm getting them dressed.
Hello Malcolm, I'm John. This is Backseat Talks on Amelia the Bus, and today we've got some shocking figures regarding the NHS and how bad it's got since 2013. The figures I got sent yesterday blew my mind. I couldn't actually believe it. So, what is the point in having a health service if it doesn't work? And I think that might be deliberate. Now the figures are, since 2013, we have had a 1,000% increase in waiting times, 10 times longer to wait at A&E than you did in 2013. Cancer treatments, 14 times longer. That's 1,400% worse 10 years later. And anyone who gets admitted on a trolley to get it into the ward and get a bed, 1,600% worse. 16 times longer since 2013. So with all this record money going into the service, what on earth is this result? If anyone did this in a normal job with that level of incompetence, they would be sacked and probably disciplined severely. They would be taken to right because they have messed up and caused so much damage and pain to people's lives, because the NHS isn't just a normal business. It deals with people, it deals with health, and not to actually be sustainable, as in it's not sustainable when you're throwing apparently bucket loads of money at it, record numbers, and the results are thousands of % worse than it was 10 years ago. So my question is this: with the bus, we do sustainability. So there's no point in insulating all of it and then just leaving 2 windows open and maybe the door and complaining that the energy we're throwing into it doesn't seem to be working. No, because there's a big hole. So my question here is, what is the big hole in the NHS? Where is all this money going? It's obviously not going into the actual services. And, we had Nightingale hospitals and everything during COVID. What happened to all of them and all of that money? So these are the questions we have to ask and get these incompetent idiots out of government, and they must face penalties for what they've done. But I'd love to know your thoughts, because how can we have a good health service when there's not prevention, but it's always cure? Is that by accident or is it by design? Because it's beginning to look like it's by design, because the companies that supply the products for the cure benefit from it. I don't want to think that badly, but it's beginning to look like that's exactly what's going on. If anyone works there and would like to get in touch anonymously, the details will be kept safe, but I'd also love to hear in the comments openly your thoughts, your experiences, and where you think this money is going. I've got a feeling it's going to these private companies and to way too many managers, but would love to hear more, because it's with the knowledge that we can actually take action to fix it. Thanks for watching.